All right, welcome back, Star Wars Racing Incorporated. So, I don't even know what the temperature is, but it's dropping pretty good over here at VIR. It is, I think it's officially, actually Wednesday now. Sorry about that. No, it's 11:56 p.m. And I wasn't working all the way until now on the car. I worked until about an hour or so ago. Yeah, a little less. So it's about midnight. So I think until like 10 something I worked on the car. So really good news, man. But the help of the community has been incredible. So here's a rundown of what happened. So I went out today again on the hardship lap. I'd actually would sign up for the hardship lap, which for those of you who don't know, we're not racers or SCCA racers. It's just an opportunity to go out there and run a lap to make sure your repairs or if you're checking something, check down the car. And basically, it's a good time to do it so you're not interrupting your actual session and hurting other times or time for other people on the track. So I signed up for that this morning to make sure I go out there before we had our Qualy one today. And last night, we left the car running perfectly. We had fuel pressure, which actually ended up being the problem. There was a fuel issue. But when I had the help yesterday from Luis Rivera Jr. and Jesse Prather, the car actually was behaving well in that sense. So we left it, spot on. So I left this morning for the hardship lap, and I didn't even make it to the grid, and the car just shut down. So that was hard. But you gotta keep fighting. And so thankfully somebody was around. I think one of the GTL guys on his golf cart just towed me right back in. And then again, thanks Luis Rivera Jr. from GPR Autosport for coming down and helping me out. We went through the ignition again, just making sure that it was all good. So we kind of clear that, say, it's not ignition, nothing with that. So we started working on the fuel. And then today, after the issues, then the car today was really, running rough, on idle and everything. So we started focusing on the fuel and, started working on things. I changed the fuel pump. That didn't do a whole lot. Changed the regulator. Didn't do too much either. So then I was down to the Weber. So took out the Weber, cleaned it up backwards and forwards, put it back in, and actually on idle the car clear up. So that was good news. So that was kind of like, okay, good, sounds good. It clear up. It was nice and neat again. But there it is. There's Loric 7. That's Loric 7 looking good there. Still got the light on. I'll tell you why in a second. But anyways, so back to here. So let's go this way. Enough of my damn face. So there's Loric 7 looking good. We got Yibre Racing next door. They're working on their cars for Osiris Peña, STU and STL. So anyways, fuel pump change. So putting the Weber back on, the car started really nice, sounded good on idle. But then when you give it gas, it had no gas, I had no fuel pressure. So at the meantime, unbelievable, Stacy Wilson, former GT3 champion, showed up and just started helping me out to work on that specific problem, and we got to it, and I am forever thankful for his help and coming down and helping me out with that. Hey, this is Paddock, 12 midnight, still working on stuff, so I guess this is where the part of the, I haven't put everything back together because tomorrow we're going to start the car and, finish the setup on the Weber, and so I'm gonna wait for Stacy to do that. Uh, but uh, but yeah, basically confirm back here. And this hurts. This pains me to say, but when I arrive on Saturday, I took the fuel out so we can put the the approved fuel, and that worked out fine. But when I put back the fuel pickup, I didn't put it under enough the foam. So basically, when I pushed the lid on, then the hose kinked. So actually, I had two kinks on the hose. So when we tested the flow, we pulled the hose out, and this was Stacy's idea, of course. And again, I learned something very valuable today. About 3 or 4 lessons I learned today, right, from Stacy. So we just pulled the hose over here to the carburetor, just let it run, and there was nothing. There was no fuel coming out of there. So then we knew the issue was back there, and basically then we just picked up a bucket. Oh, here's the bucket, actually. Yeah, we just cut this thing up, put some fuel in it, and just ran the hose directly from there, and boom, it came out gushing, right? Lots of fuel, lots of flow. So there was my problem. My pickup fuel line, when I put it back after taking the fuel out, got a couple kinks, so the fuel was not coming up. So, yep, that's what happens. So be careful. Don't let my bad experience happen to you. So when you put that fuel pickup back in the tank, make sure you go under. And that was my intent. I thought I did that. Obviously I didn't. So make sure you go under your sponges, right, or your foam in the back. Otherwise, it could get, the sponge could actually, block the pickup, or in my case, it kind of was a wall. So then the hose actually, since they were kind of older, they're very hard plastic, so they kink in a couple corners. So I wasn't getting enough fuel. So that's it. There's the camp. I'm about to close up. I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but I'm happy tired. I am happy tired in this case because we got our issues resolved. So tomorrow we'll just put things back together. I don't go out until after lunch. We're gonna do the hardship lap earlier in the day, before lunch at some point. And no, but I'm so thankful again, Stacy Wilson. Thank you so much, and Luis Rivera Jr. Earlier on as well. Thank you so much. We got this thing ready to go, and yeah, tomorrow should be a fun day. Qualy 2. We should have some time tomorrow. It's probably not going to be a great time, but just happy to be out there tomorrow and just get familiar with the track. So, all right, well, I'm closing down here. I'm tired. It's getting colder, and that's what's going on here at the Runoffs. Here, I can hear a couple cars on the distance earlier, not too many, a few minutes ago. So that's what life at the SCCA Runoffs can be. So let's go to bed. Let's get some rest. We'll get back at it tomorrow. But it's part of the fun, and that's why you got a whole week. You can have an issue and come back from it. So that's what we were doing, and I was beginning to lose some faith, but there we go. That's how we do it. Star Wars Racing Incorporated.